What if I told you there's a place on the peninsula where you can get really new homes, floor plans that are super modern and very popular, and access to 24 different parks, and you could buy a home that backs up to a lagoon where you can actually kayak to work? Well, many people drive right past Foster City on 101 when they're commuting to work, and they might even not realize how special a place Foster City is. It is super popular for families, retirees, first-time home buyers. I'm gonna share with you in this video why I think Foster City is arguably one of the best places to live on the whole peninsula for everyone. Join me every Monday at 5 for my newest videos, and let's dive in. So Foster City is such a beautiful place. We are at Leo J. Ryan Park, which is, like I mentioned, one of 24 different parks in Foster City. And just kind of take a look out here. I mean, this is one of the lagoons. All of the lagoons, they're connected to the bay here. So, water is pretty good. I've actually gone stand-up paddleboarding out here a few times, and see right now, this water is glass. And you can actually rent kayaks and boats at a couple different places in Foster City, or even electric boats. You cannot do motorized craft like water skiing or wakeboarding. There is one neighborhood in San Mateo out on the water where you actually can do that, but you cannot in Foster City, but that's fine. We have this beautiful complex out here called the Islands, which is condos. And then you have a lot of these kind of lagoons throughout Foster City, and living on the waterfront, obviously there's a huge premium, and we'll talk about the real estate in a little bit. But where we are now at Leo J. Ryan Park, over there we've got Visa's formerly worldwide headquarters. They're now technically headquartered in San Francisco, but the majority of the employees are still here. We also have Gilead Sciences, which is headquartered in Foster City. We have Zoox, which is a self-driving startup, which was acquired by Amazon a few years ago for $1 billion+, a startup that has done very well and has a large presence in Foster City. So we kind of have this good blend of residential, we have a good tax base, and that's kind of, I think, what draws people here. The schools in Foster City are top ranked, and that's one reason why Foster City is super popular for people who are sending their kids through K through 8. There is no public high school in Foster City, so if you live here, then you're probably gonna go to high school in San Mateo or Carmont in Belmont, or Burlingame High School. I went to Burlingame High School, and there are a few Foster City kids who I remember back then. Also, for July 4th, the fireworks show right here is probably the best in the whole peninsula. All in that grassy area might be hard to see, but that's like a great place to put out a picnic blanket and just kind of relax and look up at the fireworks. They kind of do them right over here on the water. Foster City has a few different community gathering spots, but this one here, again, still at Leo J. Ryan Park. When we were just walking through a minute ago, there were some people kind of doing yoga in this area, but this is used for performances and community events, and just really popular. I mean, just in the last 5 minutes, I've seen people boating, a grandparent playing with a grandkid with the ball. I've seen people doing Tai Chi and just out for a stroll. And we're kind of shooting this here late May in 2025, and this weather is phenomenal. I probably could just be wearing shorts right now, and I really just want to go for a bike ride and get out there. But I'm going to show you the Bay Trail in a little bit, which I think you're totally going to love as well. So you might be wondering a little bit about Foster City's history, but it's worth noting all of Foster City is on landfill, or you could say highly engineered compacted fill. So this all was originally part of the San Francisco Bay. And so because of that, you have these lagoons that were kind of weaved around the city, and I think they're beautiful. There's actually over 18 acres of waterways throughout the town, and originally they were kind of designed for stormwater management, but obviously there's huge recreational benefits as well. And you might be wondering, why is the color of the water? Oh, there's a little, I see 2 little fish or tadpoles, or maybe like this big. You might be wondering, how does the water get this color? Okay, there's actually a non-toxic dye that is added to the water, and it really helps kind of prevent algal growth. It looks beautiful, and it's just something that I think kind of gives it its distinct color. And then on a day like this, where we have the sun like totally overhead, the way it hits and reflects off the water, I think it's just beautiful. I mean, you couldn't ask for better conditions. There's someone all the way out there and maybe like a 15-foot long canoe. But you couldn't ask for more glassy conditions than what we see now. Now, one big change that's coming to Foster City in 2026 is the new rec center. This is a huge deal. This is a $61 million facility. It is gonna be about 40,000 square feet. It's gonna have a teen lounge, senior center, places to work out, rooms for all kind of meetings, dance classes, you name it. This rec center is probably gonna have it. Right now, there's even some kind of bocce or lawn bowling course that's been set up that's in construction, but you can kind of see what it's gonna look like. Super beautiful. If you just take a look over here, you can kind of see where we are right now. This is obviously the lagoon. I think it's gonna be really nice. Looks like there's gonna be some gardens in front. So you can kind of check out rebuildtherec.org if you want to kind of get a sense of what's coming. I'm really proud on the peninsula. We've seen some new rec centers just in the last few years. Burlingame opened a $52 million facility almost 23 months ago in June 2023. Millbrae has a new one, San Bruno has a new one, and glad to see Foster City's got one coming too. So we're just on the other side here of the teen center, but I wanted to show you Foster City actually has a skate park here, which is pretty cool. If you come here after school, there's a lot of action on the weekends. And then just on the other side, there are 6 pickleball courts, and you can probably hear that pop in the background, but there's probably like 30 people here, and we're shooting this like in the middle of the day on a random Tuesday. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty cool. Every single court is being used. So Foster City is actually the newest town on the peninsula. It was incorporated in 1971. And because it's master planned, you get some pretty cool benefits that you just aren't gonna get in some of the older, more historic towns west of 101. The only one that's kind of similar out here would be Redwood Shores. But Foster City definitely has a lot more infrastructure than Redwood Shores. Redwood Shores is like all residential, whereas here you have companies, you have like kind of like a Costco nearby, Home Depot, Target, you get everything that's really convenient about Foster City. But because it's master planned, one thing that I love is when you just kind of look around, you see no utility poles. So you could go spend $4, $5, $6 million west of 101 in San Mateo Park or Baywood or East Addition or Burlingame, and you're gonna see utility poles. If you go in Hillsborough, sure, you spend 5, 6, 7 million, you're probably not gonna see them either. But when you look in Foster City, anywhere from $1.5 to $3.5 million, you're just not gonna be seeing any utility poles, which to me is a huge win. All right, even though I already told you guys that there's 24 parks in Foster City, it's worth mentioning that there's more parks per capita in Foster City than any other town on the whole peninsula. I think that's cool. So if you're thinking about making a move to Foster City or really anywhere within San Mateo County, all my contact info is below. Drop me a line, and you guys been watching me for a while, you know I love talking shop. So we're just a few blocks away from Leo J. Ryan Park, which is just on the other side of this huge structure. So this is the Peninsula Jewish Campus, and then over there is Foster Square, which I'll tell you about in a sec. But this is a 50,000 square foot athletic center, kind of like the YMCA. It's beautiful. It's only 21 years new, and it's got a sauna, indoor pool, outdoor pool. There's Warwick Jewish Day School, which is here. There's a preschool. It's just a popular hub in the community where it's kind of the place to work out in Foster City if you're looking for something kind of the scale. It's got a huge indoor basketball gym with, I don't know, 30 or 40 foot ceilings. It's a cool spot. And then just behind me over here is Foster Square, which was completed kind of about 10 years ago. And that's got about 200 different condos. It's got about 60 affordable rate apartments. It's got about 130 upscale senior living units. And then there's a Starbucks, a falafel place. So Foster City is kind of an amazing example of how they've excelled from a mixed use perspective, kind of having so much right here. The only other spot that I can think of that's kind of comparable at a lower level would be Bay Meadows in San Mateo, which is all built out over the last 20 years. There's a phase 1 and a phase 2. Check out my video all about Bay Meadows though, if you're curious to learn a little bit more there. We are just pulling into Boat Park, and the dog park here is fantastic. Oh yeah, looks like some people are wrapping up some boating, so let's check this out. All right, so I love this part of Foster City because it's one of the very few dog parks on the peninsula. I mean, if you're like, we're huge dog people, we have a golden doodle. Like, it seems like everyone's got a doodle, but I love all dogs. But here you have a turf area. Like, you go out to Seal Point Park in San Mateo, which is fantastic, and that area is like 5 or 10 times as big as this, but it's all dirt. So here, if it's raining or the weather's not as good, it's just nice and convenient. We have the large dog area here, small dog area over here, and let's go take a look at the water. So we're at the boating part here of Boat Park, and you can kind of see there's a whole turf area. We have some presents that have been left here by the local geese, but this is the home of the Bay Area Dragons. And if you've never heard of dragon racing, you come out here for a free lesson on Saturday mornings, but This is one of the best places to dragon race in Northern California and one of the most prominent locations because of the really extensive lagoon network that's here in Foster City. And in October, there's the Bay Area Dragon Boat Sprints, which is gonna be early October. So come on out, check that out. There'll be food trucks, and I've never actually been to one, but it sounds pretty fun. I've been out here a few times and I really like it because I paddled this way, I've seen it paddle that way, and you can just kind of go like a mile or two back in there and get a pretty solid workout. Just kind of park here, and I love the turf area where it's just, I mean, I've never seen this much, so many presents here from the geese, but it is what it is. And even shooting this like midday, there's a few people out here like kayaker. I'm not sure what kind of cool boat that is, maybe it's dragon boat, and then there's someone with an inflatable kayak back there. So this is pretty fun. So we're on our way out to the Bay Trail. I think you're really gonna love this. And then after that, I'm gonna show you one of the biggest parks you've ever seen, and we're gonna check out a little real estate. So we're out on the Bay Trail, and this is one of the things that I'm so proud of that we have, not just in Foster City, but on the peninsula. This is a $90 million Bay Trail that just finished in the last year or so. I think the context is important because we think about sea level rise and levees and this and that. Foster City has literally been on the cutting edge. This kind of started a number of years ago when FEMA was going to remap Foster City and say that everyone here needs to buy flood insurance. I think it was something going to be like $3,000 to $4,000 a year per house. Don't quote me on it, but it was something like that. And then the city put on their thinking caps, and some really smart people said, you know what? Let's actually not have insurance issues and require everyone to do that, but let's actually increase the levee size around the whole perimeter of the town. So they floated this bond of about $90 million, and it came out to something like, again, don't quote me on it, but something like $1,000 per house per year. And so I thought it was a really good example of good governance. This is so beautiful. We're probably, you kind of see my car down there, we're maybe like 12, 14 feet above kind of the road that goes around the perimeter here at Foster City. And you kind of hear that loud airplane, but SFO is just over there. You have the 92 freeway over there. And then you have all these wetlands in here, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Or I got really into cycling over the last couple of years, and just be able to go from where we live in Burlingame all the way down on the Bay Trail to Foster City, all the way to Redwood Shores. That's about 12, 13 miles where you don't have to have a stoplight, a stop sign. You could just go. So that's pretty special. Now there's 24 different parks in Foster City, but I had to pick one. I mean, we've already seen Leo J. Ryan. But I wanted to show you Seacloud here. There's 5 different fields here, and we've been out here for when our son was into baseball a couple years ago for a bunch of different tournaments. And I just want to show you how massive this space is here, right? This is kind of used for both baseball and soccer. So if you come out here on a weekend, you're gonna see a lot of action happening, and we're just kind of right along the bay on the perimeter. There's, I can see someone all the way out there with their dog pulling them on a scooter. It's just a beautiful park, and Foster City really invests heavily into its park system, and I think it absolutely shows. And now for what you've been waiting for, a brief overview on what real estate is like here in Foster City. We have a really good collection of single-family homes, condos, and townhomes, probably more diverse from that perspective than many other towns because this is all master plans. So year-to-date, single-family homes, we're looking at a median price of about $2.2 million, but the lowest sale we've had this year was a tad under $1 million. And the most expensive sale we had was a little over $3.7 million. And one thing that I love about the single family homes in Foster City is you get these really solid floor plans. And so many homes west of 101 are just 60 to 100 years old, and you're never gonna find a washer and dryer like in a laundry room on a second story. You could find that here in Foster City. It's gonna be kind of hard to get a 2-car attached garage as a standard practice west of 101. Here in Foster City, that's pretty much like everyone has it. So there's some really nice features here. You're gonna find higher ceilings, more kind of modern floor plans. Here in Redwood Shores, they're gonna see kind of anywhere else in the peninsula unless you're buying new construction. And then to give you kind of idea on townhomes, we're looking at median pricing of about $1.4 million in Foster City, and some get as large as 1,700 square feet. So if you're kind of like either priced out or you're more focused on starting at the lower end of the price point, and by lower, it's all relative, of course. So if you're watching this, you're thinking about buying, congratulations. These are for sure massive numbers, and it's a huge accomplishment they should be very proud of. But we're kind of starting in that price range with a low of about 1.1 million and kind of getting up to about 1.6, 1.7 million at the high end for Foster City townhomes. Now, if you're looking to buy a condo in Foster City, we're going to be kind of starting out about 600,000 to 700,000 and then go all the way up to about 1.9 million. But median price for a condo is going to be about 1.1 million. And the range in pricing there is obviously going to be determined by square footage, condition, if you have a view of the water, or is there kind of a busy street behind you and there's a little bit of noise. So all the usual suspects from a value perspective. But I feel like you're gonna see more condos in Foster City at a lower price point than you will in other towns. And then overall for real estate in single family home, average price per square foot in Foster City is actually very attractive. You're looking at about $1,100 a square foot compared to some more expensive towns west of 101 like Burlingame, which is about $1,350 a square foot. So you get really good, I would say like value, I'm putting that in air quotes because I don't know if anything in San Mateo County is like great value. I mean, sure, it's all relative, but hey, you can go out in the East Bay and go spend $1 million or 1.5 out there and you're getting a home that's bigger, nicer, newer, less issues, all that. So Foster City comes pretty close for people who like that master plan feel. So if you're thinking about making a move anywhere within San Mateo County or Foster City in general, I'd love to be your Peninsula real estate resource of choice. So give me a call, shoot me an email, text, whatever it is, and we'd love to continue the conversation with you. I'll see you in the next video.